Good morning, viewers, and welcome again to another interesting program on iDEA TV. On iDEA TV, we bring you innovation, science, cutting-edge stories, insight, and the shows that redefine innovation across Africa and beyond. All right, today being the 7th of February, 2026, you are welcome to the weekend. All right, and today we'll be taking a look at a whole lot more what has taken place and what is still going on in the world of politics, security, and what measures is our government taking to make sure the insecurity is being cured off. All right, so a quick look at most of the papers we have for you today. We have the Telegraph, and also have the Weekend, the Tribune, the Guardian, and the Nation. All right, likely Mr. Chris may likely join us later. He's still on his way. All right, let's a quick look at what the Telegraph is saying this morning before we continue. On the front page of the Telegram, it says victim locked in shops, houses set ablaze. Kwara massacre. Victim locked in shops, houses set ablaze. Then we also have on page 2 and 4, Auditor General reports indict FCT area council over 100 billion infraction. Then on page 4, we also have PDP functions once wicked group against forceful occupation of secretariat. PDP function once wicked group against forceful occupation of secretariat. Then on page 7, we also have parts of Abuja, Nasarawa, Niger, Kogi thrown into darkness. Parts of Abuja, Nasarawa, Niger, Kogi thrown into darkness. And on the front page here, we are seeing a victim massacre, victim locked in shops, houses set ablaze. I mean, this is a serious issue and a national issue problem that has really before us in Nigeria as a country. Looking at the case of insurgency and how victim perpetrates their evil acts. I mean, it's not something that is to behold about at all. A quick look at what the government, the security agencies can do to make sure that some of these victims, some of these perpetrators will not continue what they are doing. I mean, it's becoming a serious national issue, and we know that the American soldiers are already in town and in Nigeria to make sure that this insecurity is really, really brought to an end. All right, we have strengthening security and intelligence. Equipped and trained the military with modern technology, drones, surveillance, and tracking. I mean, this is a time our military personnel, I mean, our uniformed men, security intelligence need to look into the area of drones. I mean, surveillances and tracking. I mean, some of these guys, where they do this is deep inside the forest. With the help of these intelligent and modern technologies, they can know where they are, and they'll be taken unaware. I mean, this is a very, very good one coming in on the page of strengthening security and intelligence. I mean, it has become a serious national issue. I mean, victims locked in shops, houses set ablaze. You can just imagine the agony of what those people are passing through right now. Then we also have improved intelligence sharing between army, police, DSS, and local vigilante. I mean, improved intelligence sharing between army. Let there be a communication range between the army and the police, the DSS, and the local vigilantes. Let there be a communication to make sure that, because one thing is for the military to go on a particular area, on a particular zone, a particular place, to make sure they deliver their order. But another thing is for them to partner with these local vigilantes, sharing information to make sure that this issue of insurgency can really, really be brought to an end in Nigeria. Then secure borders to stop armed smuggling and terrorist movement. I mean, secure the borders. I mean, our borders has been seriously compromised. Our borders has been compromised as we speak. So our borders need to strengthen security on our border to make sure that these guys don't have free movement inside the country. Because that is where they are following to make sure that they meet their aims, and they smuggle guns and different things from that area. So I believe if the borders is secured, these guys will not have free access to Nigeria. All right, because it's really a sad one, and it's really disheartening looking at victims in Kwara massacre. All right, we won't dwell much more on that. We also have the area of invest in education and de-radicalization. They will also have Win Community Trust. Win Community Trust. I mean, this is another strong point here that our government really need to look into. How to win community trust. You don't just come to an area all in the name of, okay, I just want to be voted into power, so I don't care how the citizens we feel. As in, I don't even care even if I win their trust, in as much I know I have the money. It shouldn't be like that. I mean, looking at what is happening in the country right now. All right, then let's quickly continue on the Telegraph. We still have on the front page, on the up page of the New Telegraph, where we have, it says, snakebite. Friends, neighbors recount last moments of Ifunanya. Snakebite. Friends, neighbors recount last moments of Ifunanya. I mean, the lady that lost her life due to the snake bite recently, and recounting the ordeal. The friends and the neighbors are recounting the moments of Ifunanya. All right, quickly check the page there. Then on page 5, still on the New Telegraph, where we have election result. Lawyers condemn Senate rejection of mandatory e-transmission. Lawyers condemn Senate rejection of mandatory e-transmission. I mean, still coming on the area where the lawyers have to reject the Senate, have to condemn the Senate rejection of mandatory e-transmission. Then we have, it says, they see it as a blow to electoral transparency. I mean, this is how the lawyers are saying it. Like, it's a blow to electoral transparency. And they also have said lawyers, especially groups like the Nigerian Bar Association, which is the NBA, argue that making electronic transmission optional rather than mandatory weakens a key safeguard against manipulation of results between polling units and coalition center. I mean, they have come to like air their view here that it can be compromised. You need to enforce it. I mean, they have their own view on that aspect. All right, then we also have it undermine legal clarity and accountability. It undermines legal clarity and accountability. Then we also have its response loophole seen in past election. All right. So these are major reasons why the lawyer are seriously condemning the electoral result. Then on the response loophole seen in past election, we have many lawyers recalls how the lack of mandatory election transmission contributes to disputed outcome in previous polls. I mean, for example, in the 2023 election, where it was compromised, it was a loophole in the election. We know what really happened there in the 2023 election, and they are coming out to say that it creates a loophole, like in the past election. I mean, without clear legal backing for real-time upload. So these are major reasons why the lawyers have recently come out to see that they condemn the Senate rejection of mandatory e-election. They also have some sees it as political setback. I mean, based on personal opinion, some also see it as a political setback. All right, so these are major reasons. Then let's quickly move to the down page, still on the Saturday Telegraph. It's a PDP function once wiki group against forceful occupation of secretariat. Then parts of Abuja, Nasarawa, Niger, Kogi thrown into darkness. Then on page 3, still on the New Telegraph, we have New Telegraph Award, okay, recognition for our modest achievement, AMCOM boss. I mean, that is an award for the Telecom Award, recognition for modest achievement by AMCOM boss. Then let's quickly move to the next paper on the weekend. Let's see what the weekend has for us. All right, on the front page of the weekend, it says 7 trillion for president, Nigeria still in darkness. 7 trillion for president, Nigeria still in darkness. Then on page 16, Turaki Wiki function renew battle for secretariat. Turaki Wiki, function, renew battle for secretariat. Then on page 33, months of labor wiped out in 48 hours. Tomato farmers cried out. Then on page 25, we have born mooted in Abu story of Prof. Aisha Hamas. All right, I think let's quickly go on a quick break now. When we come back, we'll continue with the stories on Weekend. Stay tuned. Please don't go anywhere.
Number 1. Synthetic biology advances. Synthetic biology is pushing science into new territory. Using AI-guided gene editing, researchers are engineering organisms to produce biofuels, biodegradable plastics, and even synthetic meat. In 2023, Ginkgo Bioworks announced partnerships to design microbes that can manufacture sustainable chemicals at scale. Moderna and BioNTech are expanding mRNA technology beyond COVID vaccines to treat cancer and rare genetic diseases. The global synthetic biology market is expected to surpass $30 billion by 2030. By 2026, the line between biology and technology will blur even further, making synthetic biology one of the most transformative fields of the decade. So there you have it, 15 more technologies that, alongside the first 17 we covered, are set to define 2026. Together, they show how quickly innovation is moving beyond our screens and into every corner of our life, from the materials we use to the way we connect and even how we think. And if you missed part 1, make sure to check it out next. If you made it this far, let us know what you think in the comment section below. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Number 2. Advanced neurotechnology beyond BCIs. Brain-computer interfaces grabbed headlines when Neuralink implanted its first chip in 2024. But neurotechnology is much broader. Researchers are testing non-invasive brain stimulation to treat depression and PTSD, while companies like Kernel are developing helmets that can monitor brain activity with unprecedented detail. Clinical trials are exploring personalized brain therapies for epilepsy and Alzheimer's. In 2023, the U.S. NIH launched its Brain Initiative 2.0, investing billions in advanced neurotech. By 2026, these innovations could expand from medical use into wellness and cognitive enhancement.
All right, glad to still have you back on the newspaper review on iDEA TV, the innovation television, where we'll bring you cutting edge in science, technologies, and education. And today we are still taking a look at the newspaper review, what the papers are saying in insecurity, in politics, entertainment, and also in health. A quick dive into today has been on the insecurity ravaging our country, Nigeria, and what are the possible steps that our government needs to take to make sure that most of these things can be cured and be reduced. All right, and lastly paper we take was on the Weekend, and on the front page of the Weekend where we see 7 trillion for president, Nigeria still in darkness. We're glad to still have you that Mr. Chris just quickly entered the studio right now, and I'm not alone, and this segment, Mr. Chris is here with me. Mr. Chris, you're welcome, sir.
Brother, thank you.
Glad to have you, sir.
Yeah, brother,
you're welcome, sir. Yeah. Happy weekend.
I wish you the same.
It's Saturday again.
Yes. I'm enjoying the program.
Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Chris, what do you have to say on the area of 7 trillion that have been spent and past 4 presidents in Nigeria, and Nigeria is still in darkness? What do you have to say on this regard?
It shows the gap in terms of our leadership system. Because if I'm the president, it means four presidents spending
7 trillion.
$7 trillion.
It didn't specify. I think it's in naira. It's in naira.
Okay, 7 trillion naira. There should be an impact. If you cannot be generating less than 5 megawatts with about 250 million Nigerians, it's very absurd. If few countries like South Africa and the rest can generate over 50 megawatts, I don't think it's nice to say that Nigeria, with our population and in terms of economic growth, we are still performing below standard. less than 5 megawatts is not acceptable. And if all the presidents have spent close to 7 trillion and nothing to show for it, then that's a problem.
Serious problem.
Serious problem. It shows our leadership. There's a gap in leadership.
There's a breach in leadership there.
You can't spend such money.
They're looking at the old fragile grid infrastructure, and they're looking at it in the whole general aspect. I mean, Nigerian national grid system is outdated and poorly designed. I mean, it lacks modern monitoring and control systems like SCADA. I mean, what do you have to say on this area of our national grid? Or we used to hear not long that at times it's either it fall down and again, and there's a breach and it's not being maintained. What is the cause? What is causing that national grid to always have issues?
Yes, it shows that our generating capacity has really gone down. And we have more or less two sections. Aside the commercial area, we have the generating, which is the GENCOs. Generating companies of Nigeria. Yes, GENCOs. And then generating companies, and then DISCOs, which is the distribution unit. And if there's no synergy between the distribution unit and the generating unit, suddenly there must be a gap. That's what we're observing today. Whereby a generating station generates more than, assuming say 5 megawatts, and the distribution unit is not, the grid is not meant to stand such a transmission. Then there will be a problem. And that's what we're observing today. Having come up with, I remember when these stations were sold, it's made public and the rest. I think we were expecting that something that at least by now should be hitting close to 10 megawatts. 10 megawatts. But now we are still falling below 4 times 5, and that's why we're now observing a lot of national grids collapse. Last year alone, we got 12 national grids collapse. Last year alone. And this year, I think we have done about 2 collapse within the shortest time. So it shows that there's a problem in our transmission system. Not issue of generation. You cannot go and buy an old generating plants and expect it to work. That's why Nigeria need to see in terms of power generation. The Minister for Power should have gone to make it, not even that alone, even the Senate House for Power and this generation should have gone outside the country to make sure that you have modern equipment in terms of generation. But it's not where you go and buy an outdated generating sets and bring to this country, because anything goes. It's unfortunate.
Sure. I mean, looking at GENCOs generating 5,000 and 6,000 megawatt, will it be enough for household? It can't serve the whole. It can't serve the whole household in Nigeria. I mean, these are major reasons, because I believe on this particular age that we are, as in our electricity aspect needs to really be tackled, to make sure that there is light in these rural areas. Yes. If you have gone to some of these villages, they don't have light. They don't have light. And even if they have light, it's not spreading to them. Like it's not constantly.
Exactly. It's the same thing we're having even in the cities.
Yes.
In the cities, the assumption before was that due to major companies and factors, then the rate of consumption in the cities are high. That we don't have in cities. But even in these days, rural areas, they don't have too. They don't. So it means that the whole nation is more or less thrown into darkness. By lack of efficiency. This is a lack of efficiency. Honestly. If we can't be talking about this, in this term and the time that we are, that a country of over 200 million, we are generating 5. It's a shame for me. It's a shame. Honestly. If it's a small country like South Africa, Tunisia, Egypt, and eating over 50 megawatts.
Honestly. And that is why if the more they have more megawatt, I think we should work more on our megawatt, because it's really a challenge. Yes, without that, they cannot be infrastructure, they cannot be as in technologies, and as in to even create more opportunities for people to bring in industries. It will not aid that. I mean, looking at the huge sector debt and financial instability, that is another aspect. Huge sector debt and instability. We have the government own thousands of billions in unpaid debt to power generation company, slowing investment and operation.
Yes, most companies, it's quite unfortunate. If government should owe generation companies, I think it's quite unfortunate.
It's very, very quite unfortunate.
And these people they always have grants every year for capital projects and payments. So if establishments cannot pay, that's government establishment cannot settle their debt to generating companies or distribution companies. I think it's very, very unfortunate.
And don't you think the more accumulation, the more they keep accumulating debt, the more these things keep, as in it keeps the way it is, because darkness will always still remain if this thing is being accumulated and it's not being used on the rightful place. All right, let's move to the page 16, still on the weekend trust, where we brought to you that Turaki Wiki Function Renew Battle for Secretariat. Turaki Wiki Function Renew Battle for Secretariat. Then we also have, still on that page there, months of labor wiped out in 48 hours. Tomato farmer cries out. We also have, it says months of labors wiped out in 48 hours. Tomato farmers cries out. Then we also have born molted in Abu, story of Prof. Aisha Hammer. Born molded in Abu, story of Prof. Aisha Hammer. That is on page 25. Then on the down page of still on the weekend, we brought to you that Iboho journey from fugitive to freedom. That is on page 9. Iboho journey from fugitive to freedom. Then on page 34, where we have Kano Hajj Camp Market, where pilgrim buy cheaper wares. Kano Hajj Camp Market, where pilgrim buy cheaper wares. Then on page 29, we have the genesis of Ikorodu. The genesis of Ikorodu. Then a quick look at on page 16. On page 16 of still on the weekend, where we have a Turaki Wiki Function Renew Battle for Secretariat. I mean, the tussle between Turaki and Wiki on PDP, I mean, has really generated so much function. I mean, a group loyal to Oyo State government, Kabiru Turaki, was elected national chairman at a November 2025 convention in Ibadan, backed by Governor Seyi Makinde and others. I mean, most of what has been the major tussle was fight over national secretariat. Mr. Chris, what is your thought on this?
It goes to show the decadence in our democratic structures. If the major opposition party like the PDP are still having such issues of who takes over the secretariat. I remember, I think, was it a few months ago that they did the national convention at Ibadan, which was more or less hosted by the governor, Seyi Makinde. And then Wike already has been a renegade faction of the PDP, because he has not been part of the person, though he remains a member of PDP. That is, working against the PDP is not in the interest of opposition party in Nigeria. So the issue of who takes control of this thing, I think it should be laid to rest. Wike should allow the party to grow and remain the major opposition party in Nigeria, because it's like PDP is gradually dying off. Honestly. A major party is dying off, and it shows the way we run our politics. I think is quite unfortunate. I think the idea is that the PDP should find a way to put the house in order and remain the major opposition party. As against what we have now, it's like ADC has taken over as the major opposition party. Despite that, they are still yet to be tested in terms of running the election. But the PDP,
I mean, it's so much controversy and it's so much in the air about PDP tussle and the fight between Wike and Turaki, and this has really escalated to some extent now. And just like you said, it shouldn't be the paramount, as in the paramount thing now we should be talking about, because we all know that being a party, being a party leader and staying in the state, and also as a minister in the state, trying to control the jurisdiction of another political party is not welcome, and it's not something that I think is acceptable in the political race.
Well,
all right,
it's acceptable, but then in Assam, I think the problem of Wike Turaki being the new national chairman of PDP as at Ibadan Convention, and Wike working for the major party in power, which is the APC. And I think to me, he should know that he has limitations of interference when it comes to interfering in his party, having been worked for a different party entirely, and still remain a member of PDP. Okay. Which means he should release part of his power grip in PDP. He should sit back and allow the party to grow. So that's my own take.
There. Then we also have so many there on why Turaki Wiki Function Renew Battle for Secretariat. We also have conflict over court orders and legitimacy. Conflict over court orders and legitimacy, where we also have political stake ahead of 2027 election. I mean, the battle has major implications for Nigerian political landscape. I mean, these are major reasons why there has been serious tussle between Turaki and Wike. I mean, a deep leadership dispute over who truly heads the PDP and control its machinery. Then the seal secretariat building is a flashpoint for that struggle. I mean, this what really happened and what is sparking the tussle between Turaki and Wike. Then, all right, still moving on. Let's quickly see what the Tribune has for us this morning. On the front page of the Tribune, we have on page 3, we killed forest rangers. We killed forest rangers in Oyo because they arrested 3 Fulani herdsmen by suspect. Says his share of ransom was 10,000 naira. Just imagine. Just imagine the level of atrocity, the level of inhuman sympathy at all. Anyway, let's go on to the up page before we analyze on those pages. Oyo government seized 12 baskets of chemical ripped mangoes, warns against dangerous practices. Oyo government seized 12 baskets of chemicals, ripped mangoes, warns against dangerous practices. Then on page 7, still on the Tribune, Kano government says it targets 4 million voters ahead of 2027. Kano government says it targets 4 million voters ahead of 2027. Then we also have, still on the Tribune, on page 4, down of the Tribune, troops raid kidnappers' hideouts in Edo Forest, arrest 33 suspects, seized weapon and drugs. That is coming in on page 4. Troops raid kidnappers' hideouts in Edo Forest, arrest 13 suspects, seized weapon and drugs. Then on page 6, still on the Tribune, security agent storm Kogi Forest, arrest 8 criminals. Security agent storm Kogi Forest, arrest 8 criminals. Then on page 2, still on the Tribune this morning, that is on entertainment. It says how the past 2 years tested me in unexpected ways. Coming from AY, all right, how the past 2 years tested me in unexpected ways. That is coming from AY, the comedian. Then on page 8, still on the Tribune, Kwara Massacre, still bringing us to the story of Kwara Massacre. Attackers return on Wednesday to continue their onslaught, but retreat when they saw soldiers coming in from Danladi, Chairman, Kayama local government. Coming in from Kwara Massacre, it says attackers returned on Wednesday to continue their onslaught, but retreated when they saw soldiers coming in from Danladi, Chairman, Kayama local government. I mean, so much backstories on this Tribune this morning, Mr. Chris. Looking at the case of the killing on the Oyo forest rangers in Oyo. Imagine the Fulanis coming to kill because they arrested the 3 Fulanis. I mean, what has the state of insecurity and insurgency has really eaten deep into our Nigerian security system? I mean, there's a breach of gap here. I mean, Mr. Chris, what is your thought on this before we continue?
Some time ago, I think about 2 months ago, I remember some forest guards here in the north who said that they can reduce insecurity by 75%. And because of that, a lot of state governors have started to adopt the idea of reinforcing forest guards because they understand the terrains in the forest, where most of these kidnappers hide.
They don't know.
Yes, you understand. So you can put a conventional force to say, go and look for kidnappers. But the forest guards, in their former convention, the parties we have forest guards, they understand the whole forest. Not even citizens or security architecture, but the rangers. That's what they now call the forest rangers.
The forest rangers.
You understand? They understand the whole thing. But because are they fully armed to confront these kidnappers? And that's another question. So if because they arrested their members, I mean the Fulanis, then decide to kill or to cause mayhem, I think it's quite unfortunate. It shows the level. And then how much are they cutting? Then see the other man saying that he got 10,000 naira.
Imagine the level of oh my God. Now, okay, all right. Quickly looking at, I mean, why this guys say they killed the forest rangers. I mean, they say the forest guard had been detaining illegal miners and suspected criminals operating in the park. I mean, they also say instead of negotiating for their release, the arrested group is believed to be mobilized armed attackers, possibly including bandits, to storm the park office. Then they also say during the invasion, the attackers overwhelmed the guard, killed 5 of them, and destroyed parts of the facilities. I mean, just like you said, they are not fully armed.
Oh,
and how are they being catered for?
Exactly, that's the thing.
What is their wholeness there? What is their belief? What is their faith that as they are here now, as in how the government care for them in terms of giving them more security appliances and in terms of equipping them more?
Properly, exactly. But
Both in surveillance, in drones, and we have gotten to the age in terms of insecurity in Nigeria that we really need to look into our area of surveillance and drone.
Exactly.
Most of this sophisticated, because it's a technology age, Mr. Chris.
Exactly.
Whether if we like it or not.
You know the Enugu Commissioner for Information, when they displayed some drones that are recently brought from overseas, that are capable to survey the entire Enugu and some neighboring states. You understand? And the Rangers too were brought in, given sophisticated weapon
to fight this
and drones for surveillance. So that's the modern age. You can imagine that the CDS, I think the Chief of Defense Staff was mentioning that they have to look at the way some of these bandits are using drones now. If bandits can acquire drones, to trace military checkpoints and the rest, and question them, then what are we talking about?
That shows a very big gap and a very big bridge between our military personnel and our
and bandits.
There is a gap there.
A gap there, which means, and I know the money is being budgeted for. There are a lot of money going to defense. So acquiring drones to even survey the entire Nigerian I don't think it's too much for this country. If every state can acquire drones,
that still brings us back to the area of insecurity. Over the past, where we saw that the Kogi Governor Ododo, have to launch a helicopter to fight insurgency in Kogi State, and we all see that, and he also launched a drone, and even down to other states. So they are practicing it. So my major question now, Mr. Chris, with all this help and with all these gadgets that we have, don't you think by now insecurity is supposed to have been minimized to a very drastic extent?
Actually, it's supposed to down. That tells you that they are complicit of our operators, our system operators, in part of most of these insurgencies you are seeing about. Yes, that's the truth. There are people who benefit from such atrocities, who are either close to power or have people in power
benefiting from it.
Yes, and that's why it's difficult to stop.
As in, but how can someone be proud of like eating? Let's not just go far. I mean, the government coming to respond. Government of Oyo State says the government condemns the attack and pledged support for the victim's family. And the police launched a manhunt and have arrested several suspects, including those linked to armed banditry and gang respond from the ambush. And we also have security agencies have boosted presence in the area and are tightening surveillance to prevent similar attack. I mean, after the deed has been done, I mean, coming in to do all this now, the deed has already been done.
Exactly.
I mean, there should be a way that these things are being checked before it escalates, exactly. And the deed will be done before the military or the police will be there. These guys are no more.
Exactly. It's sort of understand. We should have a preemptive method of doing things, and not proactive.
Yes,
it's preemptive. It prevents certain things before it happens, and that's how good governance operates.
Exactly.
You don't allow things to happen before you want to get things done. And it's a very bad attitude when it comes to governance.
Very bad. All right, so quickly moving on, still on the Tribune, where we brought to you that on page Kwara Massacre attack returns on Wednesday to continue their onslaught. I mean, this is the case of what we are still discussing right now. And we also have so many stories here on the Tribune, on the front line, where we also have troops raid kidnappers hideout in Edo Forest, arrest 13 suspects, seize weapon and drug. I mean, these are most of the trending stories that we brought across your way on Tribune. All right, let's quickly move to the next paper we have for today on the Guardian. I don't think we have much story on the Guardian this morning. Where we brought to you on the front page of the Guardian, it says INEC rallies security agencies ahead of 2027. INEC rallies security agency ahead of 2027. And we also have on page 27, Matthew Tolangha, a bridge between community, nation, and global stage. Matthew Tolangha, a bridge between community, nation, and global stage. Then on page 32, still on the Guardian, we brought to you that Laustech celebrating metamorphosis with renewed passion for excellence. Lautech celebrating metamorphosis with renewed passion for excellence. Then on the last page, it says Tinubu should apologize for ignoring Abuja at 50. All right, coming in there on the last page there. Then the front page, then we also have a billion bank thank you. I mean, coming in as a remark for Kingston Pody. I mean, High Chief Engineer Kingston Pody. That was a remark for him there, coming in on celebrating him. All right, still looking at the case of the nation, what we brought across your way today. Let's quickly move to nation. Let's see what the nation is having before we call it a wrap for the day. On the front page of the nation, Kwara killing, how terrorists lured victims with prayer calls. All right, Kwara killing, how terrorists lured victim with prayer calls. Then we also have survivors relieved escape for deadly attack. Survivors relieve escape for deadly attack. And we also have US slams killing, backs Tinubu security deployment. US slams killing, backs security, Tinubu security deployment. Then on page 6, still on the nation, PDP, Function Square, up over reopening of National Secretariat. PDP, Function Square, up over reopening of National Secretariat. Then on page 4, Tinubu unveiled major sports sector reform, orders funding reset for 2026. Tinubu unveiled major sports sector reform over funding reset from 2026. Then a quick look at what the U.S., Mr. Chris, a quick look at the U.S. slamming the killing, back to Tinubu security deployment. This will bring us to the area of killing and insecurity.
Okay. And I think in retrospect, let me take you back from one of the papers you read before this. You know, you mentioned that the security, was it the bandits came back to finish up what they couldn't finish.
Yes, that's on Tribune.
On Tribune.
Yes.
But they were repelled by
the soldiers.
Yes. Then it tells you the lot of problem in our security architecture. If actually understand the way, they even wrote a letter to the community before the first operation. You understand? And then what was the preventive method that was our security took in place to prevent that? So which means if a bandit can write a letter to community that expect us, because some of you fail to imbibe to our doctrine. What is their doctrine? They are trying to more or less to make them to believe in their own religion or whatever they feel like this. And they don't believe, you understand? And both the people refused. And the only thing for you to come at night to massacre on the daytime, understand, to about around 3 p.m. to massacre the entire community.
But
so it's quite unfortunate.
Don't you think this is still a conflicting and arousing serious pressure on insecurity in Nigeria? Looking at how can the terrorists, as in luring the victims with prayer, with prayer calls, and they would think they are actually come and pray, and they will onslaught them and ambush them and kill them.
Yes.
What? I don't want to digress to the area of maybe religion or anything like that.
No.
But let's be very factual here. Do you think this sounds to be good on the ear? Because looking at this now, it's such a bad one.
No, it shows there's a security lacuna in the entire
aspect.
Yes, that lacuna started right from the attack in that church service. You understand? When they took about 100 and something victims and killed 1 or 2 persons there. You understand? Good. So the issue of Kwara State is become that I think the Kwara State governor should join other colleagues in other states to find a way of meeting against these insecurities that's reoccurring often in Kwara State. It shows there's a gap. There's
serious
a gap in
serious
Kwara
gap.
State.
Because
Serious gap,
that
yes.
Kwara, so many mayhem, so many so many things has, and in terms of killing, has been ravaging that community.
Yes.
I think the federal government has mobilized security personnel and soldiers, mount guards there to make sure that the situation is brought to a calm. But after this, what next? Anyway, still moving to the U.S. slums killing, back Tinubu security deployment. I mean, they have been okay. Want to say something?
The president has tried in his. I think I understand he ordered that 1 battalion of soldiers.
Yes,
should move to Kwara State. Yes, that agreed. But if you are moving 1 battalion of soldiers for one
particular state
outside 33 states and Abuja, it tells you that, you understand, you are draining the entire security force.
Because of what's happening is that when you move the security force to this particular place, these guys, they will get another network, they will move to another place again. Because they know that they're already here now, so they will divert. And majorly where they attack, they are the villagers, there's the deep down local places where they know that there are no security there, and the security, there's a bit of gap in security.
So that's the thing, you understand? It's caused to what we call surveillance in modern military.
Yes, relating to US.
And that's where America comes in.
Yes, relating to Americans backing Tinubu security deployment. It says shift from heavy combat to precision operation. We all know that Americans, they are intelligent. They are intelligent and they have surveillances. They have gadgets.
Yes.
So they are still making their inquiries.
Certainly.
So now there should be total commitment between our military and the American soldiers that are on ground now, to make sure that they work together, to make sure that these guys are sent back to wherever they come from.
Yes. I think the two.
Because what's surprised me is that these guys are in town, and these guys are still misbehaving like this. What does that tell you, sir?
It tells you that, you understand, they saw American coming here as trampling in their own sovereignty. Because they have more or less created a particular sovereignty, which they, by own perception, feel that, yes, they can have control of certain areas of the country due to the gap in our security architecture. You understand? And so they are trying to build
intelligence system,
so they are now seeing American troops, or even the Christmas bombing, as a threat. So they are taking their own pound of flesh from the system. That's what they are doing now. But then, in essence, I believe that like what the arrangement between the Nigerian security apparatus and America, the agreement is such that America will provide the surveillance, which is the major thing.
Okay.
Surveillance is the major principle of modern warfare now. It's not issue.
It's not by guns and.
You don't put boots on the ground. Put 1 million ground. It doesn't solve it. And that's why you see that
intelligence, information.
Intelligence, exactly. So you get where they want to get them. You follow their principles. America has satellites.
Yes.
That real-time satellites that can give you real-time information if you want it. And most of these have been focused for Nigeria. So they will give the whole thing is to give Nigeria the information, and one Nigerian military will be the one to act. You understand? So that's the system.
I think they need to build strong intelligence system in as part that train Nigerian forces in advanced intelligence analysis. They need to be trained. If these guys can really come in and help the system, I mean, let's not dwell much more on this, because looking at this paper now, I don't think we'll keep analyzing the whole thing regarding to insecurity, because it has really caused serious problem for Nigerian. It has destabilized our economy. It has destabilized our living individually, both businesses and otherwise. I mean, it has really eaten deep in the Nigerian system. I mean, this is a serious call for national urgency in terms of insecurity and banditry in Nigeria. All right, then on page, still on the Nation, on the down page, on page 28, it says, Masari replaces Uzodinma as APC National Conventional Chairman. Masari replaced Uzodinma as APC National Convention Chairman. Then we also have on page 26, blood, tears as suspected headers overrun Benue market. Blood, tears as suspected headers overrun Benue market. I mean, still coming in on the area of insecurity. We are still hearing another one again. I mean, then on page 25, where we brought to you that Jimoh Ibrahim hails from ladies' role in reaffirming Nigerian image abroad. Jimoh Ibrahim hails First Lady's role in reaffirming Nigerian image abroad. All right, these are more and much more on the nation that we brought to you this morning. Then looking at still on the front page of the nation, Trump deletes post depicting Barack Mitchell. Trump deletes post depicting Barack Mitchell Obama as monkey. I mean, Donald Trump having to delete the picture of the post depicting Barack Obama as monkey. All right. Then on the front page, still on the front page, where we talked about Kwara killing, how terrorists lured victim with prayer calls. Then on the front page, still on page 6, PDP functions square up over reopening of National Secretariat. All right, so these are more and more stories that we brought across your way today, ranging from the New Telegraph, where we brought to you that on the front page of the New Telegraph, victim locked in shops, houses set ablaze. Victims, that is in Kwara State, Kwara Massa, victim locked in shops, houses set ablaze. Then we also have on the weekend, where we brought to you that 7 trillion for president, Nigeria still in darkness. 4 trillion for president, Nigeria still in darkness. Then on the down page of the weekend, we also brought to you that Iboho journey from fugitive to freedom. Then on Tribune, on the front page, we brought to you that we killed forest rangers in Oyo because they arrested 3 Fulani herdsmen, says by suspect. Says his share of ransom was 10,000 naira. All right. Then on the Guardian, we brought to you on the front page, INEC rallies security agencies ahead of 2027. INEC rallies security agencies ahead of 2027. Then on the last page of the nation, Kwara killings, how terrorists lure victims with prayer calls. Then survivors relieved escape from deadly attack. I mean, these are major stories trending the front line of the newspaper review we brought to you across your day today. Mr. Chris, this is where we'll call it a wrap for today.
Yes, thank you.
So we'll be glad to have you back most of the times.
Yes,
we'll be glad to have you. This is our in-house analyst, Mr. Chris Ejiofor. All right, make sure you keep it a date with us every morning by 8 a.m. I still remain Gabriel Matthew Seriki, and I am with...
I'm Chris Ejiofor here.
Chris Ejiofor.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.